Hello, Becky here. Welcome back to my channel. I am here for a very short, hopefully, reading vlog over this May weekend. Today is Friday, May 29th, and I finished The Ending Writes Itself yesterday. Yes, yesterday. And the live show for that is tomorrow. It is the May pick for the Literally Dead book club. So I'm excited to talk about that. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I don't know if it was like the most thrilling book I've ever read, the most thrilling thriller ever, but I enjoyed it and I wanted to keep picking it up and I wanted to keep reading it. So I think that's a good sign. And then I was going to pick up Yesteryear like immediately. I want to read it so bad. But the June buzzword title prompt is one word title. So I was like, perfect. Yesteryear totally fits for that. So I'm gonna wait. That was the 28th. Today's the 29th. So I was like, I'll just wait a couple of days and maybe pick something short to read. So my friend showed me this on TikTok and I decided to buy one. It is Murder Among the Stacks, Solve the Puzzles and the Plot of a Cozy Bookstore Mystery. So I thought this would be really fun. Some people do these cozy mysteries and try to solve the mystery as they're reading the book. Kayla from Books and Lala did a couple with this one author. She has books from A to Z and they take place in the town that Kayla lives. And she's like, since it takes place where I live, I will go and like drive to those locations and try and like solve this mystery. And she did a couple of those. And then Gavin does the solve-alongs with the Agatha Christie books. So I am not that talented at solving things. I'm usually just there for the ride. If I was actively trying to solve the case, I would pay more attention to clues. And Gavin does do it with his YouTube membership, with his members as well. I've done a couple, but again, I'm not very good at it. And Agatha Christie's not my favorite author, but I've only read a couple of her books, so I can't really judge on that. But I just don't have the time. There's too many books to read, so I haven't done one in a while. But I thought this could be really fun. It's very thin. Sleuth and Search with 50 puzzles. So I just cracked it open to like look at it and it's like pink. Yeah, it's like pink cover. There's a cat and it's just very cute. If it's fun, maybe I'll buy a few more. This is copyright 2025, so it's pretty new as well. So I guess you could say this is going to have spoilers in it because we're going to talk about the clues as I read this book. So if you don't want to be spoiled for this, go buy the book, solve the mystery, and come back and watch this. So this is a Cranberry Creek word search mystery for Dean and his unerring support. So I don't know if Dean's a cat. And then contents, welcome to the Cranberry Creek word search mystery series. And then there's a how to solve a word search. I think I know how to do that. And the killer reveal puzzle. And then there's all the different chapters and each chapter has a puzzle. So this is your how-to page, how it works, how to solve the word search, and then the killer reveal puzzle. So we'll learn when we're going to get the reveal, I guess. And then there's a little map. I love it. I love the color. It's like, it's not really pink. It's more in the orange, peachy kind of colors. So this is Cranberry Creek. And then chapter 1, where is murder? Chapter 1. Then we do a puzzle. Every chapter is a page. So it's a very quick read. I'm a slow reader and things are crazy and hectic with kids, but I think we can crack this out. It might be a little bit more slow going because you're actually, like, I'm sure the word search isn't very detailed. It's not very hard for a word search. It's not a crossword puzzle, which would be a little bit harder. But let's see if I can accomplish this over the next 3 days. And if I can't, that's okay. It takes as long as it takes. But join me as we jump into Murder in the Stacks and solving a Cranberry Creek murder mystery. Okay, so I'm just reading the how this works thing, so I'm going to read this out. After a painful breakup, bookstore owner and puzzle aficionado Abby Jones is ready for a fresh start in the idyllic town of Cranberry Creek. With the grand opening of her cozy new bookshop, things are finally looking up, until a famous author drops dead during her very first book signing. Even worse, she's the sheriff's #1 suspect. With her reputation and freedom on the line, Abby must unravel the most complex puzzle of her life. Which one of her charming new neighbors is hiding a deadly secret? Murder Among the Stacks is an interactive mystery experience. Each chapter is followed by a word search puzzle featuring a list of words inspired by the surprising events, offbeat characters, and cozy chaos of that chapter. These puzzles are more than just a fun break in the action. They're tools to help you engage with the mystery, reinforce clues, and sharpen your sleuthing skills as you read. There's Murder by Muffin and Murder Before I Do as well. I'm just wondering if there's a page where we can, I don't want to like see spoilers, where I can take notes. I could write on like the back cover, because this cover is like already, it's colored. And I have a pink pen. I don't have a blue pen on me. Read a chapter, enjoy a slice of mystery, humor, and small town drama as Abby navigates her way through unexpected suspects, secrets, and coffee spills. 2. Complete the puzzle. After each chapter, solve the accompanying word search. All the words on the list relate to what you have just read. And 3. Keep a record. If you like, use the space in the margins or a notebook to jot down any clues, suspicious behavior, or emerging theories. Can you solve the mystery before you get to the end? And then it talks about how to solve a word search. So like the words can be up, down, forward, backward, or diagonal. Okay, and then the killer reveal puzzle. Ooh, the solve it puzzle is different. Oh, this is one where you find all the words in the puzzle and any unused letters. Write them underneath the puzzle and unscramble them. That's fun. I thought they might do that with every puzzle, and there'd be like clues in each one, but it sounds like it's just the last one that does it. Happy sleuthing and good luck. Do you count this as a book read on Storygraph or Goodreads or in your personal book tracking stuff? Let me know. Her cat's name is Sir Reginald Caddington III, or Reggie for short. I love Sir Reginald as a name. I think that's hilarious. She's doing a word search. Fully Booked is the name of her bookstore. I love that. So I thought it'd be fun. I got a pen to write down clues. I got highlighters for highlighting the puzzle. Down the first word. Okay, so I finished the first crossword puzzle, and I was just thinking about it that I don't have to do the crossword puzzles. I can just read the story and then at the very end do the crossword puzzle to solve it, because you actually have to unscramble the words, the letters that are left over, right? So you don't actually have to do the crossword puzzles. So I think that is one kind of critique I would make about it. It would take a little bit longer, yes, but that you have to solve the puzzle to get a clue. So again, you don't have to do it if you don't care about getting the clues, but it'd just be a little bit more fun. You'd be more inclined to want to finish the puzzles. But I think a book like this too isn't necessarily meant to be read in a day or a weekend. You could read, you could read one a day and do like your daily crossword puzzle if you wanted, but that would take you 50 days to read this little tiny book. But you might do like 2 or 3 puzzles. I've only done one, but it feels more like something you just pick up here and there when you have a little bit of time. Maybe you leave it in your bathroom or something. I don't know. But you don't have to complete the puzzles because the puzzles aren't giving you any clues. But again, this feels like it's for somebody who enjoys doing word searches. And that's why you would be doing it, kind of thing. I'm getting a call from my husband, so I will update after I do a couple more puzzles. So happy Saturday night. It's actually almost Sunday. We went out last night for a couple's night thing, and it was a lot of fun. It was really good, but today I've just been like super tired. Max. Today I've been like super tired and mostly in bed. I am 56 pages in, and it's 110 pages, 111 pages long. So I'm halfway through the book, and I've given up doing the crossword puzzles because they don't actually give you any clues whatsoever. There's no point in doing the crossword puzzle. It's just for people who like doing crossword puzzles, but I can only do a couple at a time because it like really slows you down. Like I spend a minute, 2 minutes reading this much writing, and then spend like 20 minutes doing a crossword puzzle because I'm also like distracted and busy doing other things as well. I could probably do them a little bit faster, but it's just really slows down the reading. So this book is pretty simple, but I feel like it's doing a good job telling the story in very short little bursts. Just the nature of the story, it's not going to be super detailed or anything, so you can't really fault it for that. It just bugs me that there's no point in doing the crossword puzzles. I wish that it would give you clues, or there would be something. Like at one point there's a guy who comes in, our author, what's her name, Brooke, drinks some coffee, stands up, is clearly like choking or something, has blue lips, and collapses, and then this Frank guy walks in the door. Well, it could just be like this mysterious man walks in the door, and then you find his name like in that puzzle or something like that. So I think that would be a better way of doing it. Max, bless you. I'm just trying to do this really quick before I forget. Anyways, the mom is high up on my suspect list. This Frank guy, maybe? I don't really know. Everything else seems a little too simplistic, like they're just red herrings. They're the obvious choice to be the ones that have probably poisoned her coffee. But we were just reading a scene where Abby and the mom, the author's mom, what's her name? Brooke's mom, Miss Pines or Mrs. Pines or whatever, calls her Abigail, and she's like, it's Abby. She's like, you sure it's not short for Abigail? She's like, I'm pretty sure. And she's like, well, that's unfortunate. He's like, that's rude. I really like the name Abigail though, but I think the mom is the most sus. And then where am I? Max. Oh, our main character Abby found some reviews online. Somebody went and reviewed all of Brooke's books. We have picked a different name. Brooke's books. She went online and found this one person went and reviewed all of the books and gave them 1 star and gave them like really negative reviews. And I'm like, why would you keep reading all? She has like 10 books or something like that. And why would you go and rate all of them really bad? Like there is something there. The reviews were, I wish I could buy back my time. I think we've all felt that with a book or two. Don't bother, terrible characterization. And then the last one was, made me want to stab out my eyes and then bathe my skull sockets in Clorox. If that's how you're feeling about an author's books, stop reading their books. So I had a nice bath, and I am on chapter 41, and there's 50 chapters. So I haven't read 41 yet. This book is so simple, I guess, but I think it's just is what it's meant to be. And then like the clues, you're like, this is a clue, and then at the end of the chapter she's like, here's a clue. And by chapter I mean like the bottom of the page. I'm gonna tell you, we're trying to solve this mystery, Sebastian. There is Abby Jones. She's moved to a new town called Cranberry Creek, and she's opened a bookstore. And for opening day, she has this big famous author that lives in Cranberry Creek.
He dies.
And
she dies.
Yes.
Of course.
But on opening day, she's there to like do a book signing. She's like super popular. The bookstore is completely full.
She wants coffee every half hour on the half hour. She's very demanding. Wants her coffee. And then she needs water as well. And then she's like, where's my coffee? And the bookstore owner, Abby, is like, your coffee's scheduled to be delivered in like 3 minutes, whatever it is. She delivers the coffee and she's like, what, no water? And her mom is like, I got the water for you, just go away. And hands her a bottle of Nivian water from the Swiss Alps. That's all she'll drink. That's it.
It's a rookie mistake.
No like tap water. Crisis averted. So she's like, her coffee's due in 5 minutes. I'm sorry to disappoint Mrs. Pines, but I have customers to tend to. And the mom is like, focus on my daughter or she'll never set foot in this store again. Don't forget, we can do more for you than for us. So like the mom and daughter are like super entitled, narcissistic. The mom is like, I've got water for you, and flicked her fingers at me in dismissal. And then she was standing up, her pale hands grasping her throat. The white espresso cup was on its side, its dark contents spreading across polished wood. Brooke turned blue around the lips, stumbled forward, and collapsed across the table, drawing screams from the crowd. So, what's poisoned? The coffee, the water, and then later on you find out that it was the water that her mom gave her that was poisoned, not the coffee. So, obviously, Abby's like the #1 suspect because she's like the owner of the bookstore, but also she has like absolutely no motivation for killing her. She's just like the most obvious suspect because she was there, but she's the owner of the bookstore and it's opening day and this author is bringing in a ton of customers and stuff like that, and they're all like, the author herself lives in that little town, so they're bringing in like local people as well. Right? So, like, why would she kill her, even if she's, like, a bee towards her and, like, super entitled and stuff? It's just, like, annoying and you have to deal with it, but, like, that's not a motivation for murder. So, we got some suspects, some clues here. Nessa had been close to her daughter when she'd keeled over and she hadn't lifted a finger to help. That's sus, right there. Sus. I stopped. I gave up on the crossword puzzles because it was just slowing me down.
You said it was pointless.
They don't give you any clues. Then there's a cute guy, one of the cops. So we have 3/4 main suspects. We have the mom, Vanessa or Nessa. We have the friend / kind of assistant person, Haley.
Okay. What'd she do? What's her motivation?
So I think the mom's motivation is being jealous of her daughter and wanting like the limelight for herself. I would say that she was annoyed with dealing with her daughter's like attitude, but the mom is the same as her. Yeah, but the mom is like the same as her, so it's like that's where she gets it from. So I think it'd be more the...
Do they argue in the book though about it?
So there was no like arguments or anything had. She was just sitting there at the signing and drank the coffee and then keeled over. There's this guy Frank who shows up. Okay, no, Haley. She's like the assistant person, and her motivation would have been because she's trying to become a writer that's like also writing in the same like romance space as Brooke. So Haley just like jealousy of Brooke making it and doing so well in that space, and Brooke not having like an agent or anything yet. And then there's Frank, and he shows up like Brooke keels over on the table, and then Frank walks in the door, and he's supposedly the best friend. But he's also a writer, but doesn't write romance, so it wouldn't be like competition, but also jealousy of her like having the contract and being this big successful author, and he doesn't have that yet. And then the mom, I don't know what the motivation would be, I think just that her daughter has all the limelight kind of thing. And then there's this anonymous person called Fall something. Where is it? Last Fall, they have written a bad review on all of Brooke's books.
Is it got like a grudge?
Yeah, like a 1 star, all like 10 books. I'm like, why did you keep reading the books if you don't like them?
Or
Right?
it's just review bombing without reading them. Could just be doing that. We don't know.
Yeah,
Unless
exactly.
they say specifically.
So we got Nessa Pines might have wanted her daughter gone because she was unhappy about her publishing career. She was also the only person near the table when Brooke died. Could have poisoned her. Frank Davis, so he's like the best friend author guy, is hiding something. Find out what it is. And Haley Sims kept getting rejected by agents. Jealousy, a motive. So Abby has literally written out the suspects and the clues for me right there.
You don't even have to think about it.
I know. It's
Easy.
very easy. So, these are the 1-star reviews that I read out before. So, like, wish I could buy back my time. Don't bother, terrible characterization. Made me want to stab my eyes out and then bathe my skull sockets in Clorox.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's harsh, dude.
And then...
But see, none of those have evidence that they read the book.
No.
You could
So you're
say
right.
that about anything, really.
Yeah. So you could be right. I think it's this last fall person, but who is last fall? Is it the mom? Is it Haley? Or is it Frank? And they live in town. We know that last fall lived in town and could have been at the book signing. Also, her cat's name is Sir Reginald Caddington III.
Sweet, I love those names.
So he goes by Reggie, and he meow purred. I highlighted this. He meow purred, and Leo does that. What?
So Reginald's the murderer, clearly.
Oh yeah. No, I think Reginald is actually. Okay, so we ran out of space on my phone, like always. Where was I?
What about the cat being the murderer?
I think the cat is actually gonna solve the mystery. I got a cranky baby here too. In case you're wondering why I'm just like bouncing around. Okay, so tell me who this is. First things first, I said, we need coffee, Reginald. I fixed myself a pot, trying not to trip over my insistently meowing ginger kitty as he wound between my legs. Reggie was determined to trip me up for my refusal to feed him until he couldn't move. I said, Leopold, 100%.
Every single morning almost trips me. I almost smashed
I know.
my face into the door every
I'm
time.
like, if you kill me, I can't feed you. Okay, so last fall, I think, is the one who killed them, but who is last fall?
What a name.
Okay, no, I already talked about this. The water bottle was the source of poison, and the brand of water was important. So, see, she tells you, like, straight up that these are the clues. So I don't even need to remember anything. But the mom is the one who handed the daughter the water. And then she runs into Frank at her friend's muffin basket, the Muffet Basket, which is the bakery in town. Frank, the victim's friend, smoothed his ascot, cream with a fall leaf print.
Oh, he
Cream
doesn't like that.
with a fall leaf print. He's like, what's an ascot? I don't like it. And took a sip of coffee. He frowned and tapped his chin, then cracked his knuckles and started typing. What was he up to? And I said, typing up negative reviews and rants on Reddit, because there's also a Reddit page that last fall does. And then she goes to sit down and talk to Frank. Yeah. And he's like, it wasn't me who did it. Both of them are wicked through and through. Brooke told me all kinds of secrets about Nessa too. And Abby's like, don't shoot the messenger. I just thought you should know what's being said about you. Which was that his mom, or Brooke's mom, said that Frank was hiding something. Brooke's mother, she thinks you've always been jealous of Brooke because she's an author, or was an author. And then he pulls up an article that says, murder victims tell all memoir to release in the summer despite ongoing investigation. Victim's mother unimpressed by news that tell all book will be published. I said they're making it way too obvious that it's the mom, which makes me think maybe it's not the mom. So then she goes on a girls' night with her friend from the bakery, and Nessa comes in. Am I boring you?
I just don't know why I'm here right now.
Because I'm telling you all the clues instead of just talking to them.
Okay.
I'm telling you, and you're going to help me solve the murder. Nessa comes in and sits down and talks to them, and is like, sorry I threw ice cold coffee on you the other day and called you a murderer. And then they're like, did you know that it was the water that you handed her that was poisoned? And she said, the mom says, I found that water bottle in my foyer on the morning of the signing.
Oh, she found it on the morning of the signing.
Yeah, so somebody could have left it there. And we find out that Haley, her petulant little assistant, was trying to blackmail Brooke. So, blackmail. And then there's a last fall writes on Reddit. It's with excitement and regret that I write this post, you guys. I'm sorry to say, but I'm going to retire as an admin from this forum for the foreseeable future. I'm officially an agented author. Y'all say it with me. Yes, he can. So last fall, is he, or is that just to throw you off the trail? And I said totally Frank, obviously. That's what he was typing away there at the computer that day. And then
I'm going to go become a murderer, so I need to get off Reddit.
Yeah. And then Haley goes into the bookstore at one point and she's like manifesting where her book is going to be one day. And then she sits back on... Oh, she also only drinks filtered water. Only Nivian because of Brooke. And then she sits back on like the windowsill and Reggie, who was protective over his favorite spot, whacked his tail in warning at Haley. She didn't move, and he yowled at her, then leapt toward Haley, claws out and ginger fur raised. Reggie, no, but it was too late. He landed square on her head, hissing and clawing, and Haley screamed and fought him off, running toward the front door. So my thing was, is Reggie upset that Haley sat in his favorite spot, or is his feline animal instincts kicking in and he doesn't like her vibe? Cats pick up on vibes.
Yeah.
Yep. Was he mistrustful? Abby says of Reggie, he was mistrustful of most strangers, but he never clawed anyone before. That had been an attack. He wasn't just like upset that she was sitting in the window. I think his animals are smart and pick up on things you can't.
Pick up on people's energies.
Yeah.
So if that person has a
And then-
murderous intent,
Yeah.
so does the cat.
So, yeah, that's so true. So, the next chapter talks about the acknowledgments in the book that Brooke had written and was doing a signing for. And it says, the acknowledgments were lengthy. Brooke had thanked everyone except for Haley.
Bum, bum, bum. Again.
Okay, and then that's where I left off. On the chapter 40, titled Run For It, she's like she's downstairs because her bookshop is finally open again after the investigation. They allowed it to open again. And no one's been arrested yet, but then she sees like lights outside. She's literally on the run from the cops. She like ducks behind her counter, like sneaks out the back door and just like books it down the street. Which I was like, that's not suspicious at all. The cop came and like put his hands against the door like this. And against the window to see if it was open. Like see if anyone was in there. Because it's like 5 a.m. I dropped out of my chair and fell to the floor on my stomach. What were the chances Sheriff Swift would show up on my doorstep at 5 a.m. with his lights flashing and it not be about the murder? So that's why he didn't just like walk in and talk to her, but because it was 5 a.m. But he's like, is she in there? And she's like,
Yeah.
see ya.
Like just books it.
So what do you think? I got 9 chapters left to find the big reveal.
So I think it's Summer Fall or whatever that name is. I think it's that person.
Last fall?
Yeah, last fall.
You think it's them? But who's them? Who's last fall?
Yes.
Is it Frank? Is it Haley? Is it the mom?
The mom. It's not Haley. I think it's Frank. Okay, wait. Did you already explain why he hated, or why this person hated her book so much? They wanted to become an author too or something? Was that part of it?
There's no explanation of why they're leaving negative reviews. The mom just said that Frank was jealous. That's what the mom says. The mom is the one planting it. Mom is the one who said Haley was blackmailing Brooke. And the mom is the one who said Frank was jealous and was hiding something. The mom was planting all the doubt and suspicion. So maybe it is the mom. I'm going to read till chapter 48. So I'm going to come back and let you know who I think it is before the final reveal. So you know I'm not cheating. I promise. This is my first solve along. My first mystery. Say, hi, I'm a grumpy baby, and my nose is runny, and he hates his face being wiped, so he's getting like snot, and I go to wipe it, and he's freaking out, and then I don't get it all cleaned, and then he's got like snot bubbles. It's a whole dramatic thing. Now you're quiet now that I'm done talking. All right, we'll be back. Okay, I'm on chapter 42, and Abby is hiding in the bakery, and they have decided that they are going to lure in Haley and Frank with a promise that they can write their book privately in the bakery. They can come like sit in the office, and then they're going to lock them in the office and question them about their whereabouts on the morning of the murder.
Get out of here now.
She says Haley can't come. She said she's going to meet with Nessa today. So that's the mom.
and Haley. Are they working together? Could they be like conspiring together and they both took out Brooke? Let's find out. Frank fell for it and he's gonna come to write his book at the cafe. Rose, the like one and only friend. She's got two friends. Her landlady, Myrna, who has 3 Dachshunds, which I think is so cute, and Abby. Abby's the one friend that she has that owns and works at the bakery. Maybe it was Rose. Did I say Abby? Abby's friend, Rose. Maybe it was Rose all along. She says, "This will go smoothly, Abby." Rose smiled. "You can trust me." Can you trust somebody who says you can trust me? I don't know. Chapter 43, Last Fall, has arrived. Ooh, now we're getting juicy. Let's find out who Last Fall is.
Mom, you need it?
Yeah, that's perfect. This isn't about Haley, this is about Brooke. Your last fall, aren't you? Frank let out a sigh, dropping his gaze. I knew it.
Mom,
I
where's
knew
the
he was last
toilet
fall. Frank has been hiding behind a screen name. What else is he hiding?
Poop.
Okay, so things are getting juicy now. So telling it all, chapter 44, Frank doesn't seem surprised at all that she learned that he is in fact last fall. But according to what we've learned now, I don't think last fall is the one who killed Brooke. He totally throws shade on romance novels too. Yeah, I didn't exactly love what Brooke wrote, but I was still her friend. I would never hurt her, not intentionally. She was just so self-involved. She thought she was the best writer to touch fingers to a laptop. You could say we had a love-hate relationship. Did she know your last fall? No, he said. The funny thing was she complained about last fall to me. She wrote it in her memoir. And then he shows Abby his laptop, which has a document on it about Brooke's memoir called Brooke Pines, The Not So Romantic Truth. And Frank, here's where he throws shade. Brooke shared her life with me. I was her best friend. I might not have respected what she wrote, insipid romance novels with so many inappropriate scenes, but I still cared for her. She shared her memoir with me. Check out page 20. So this, I think I'm going to lock in that it's actually 2 people working together. Vanessa, the mother, and Haley, the friend, assistant person. She's talking about her relationship with her mom on page 20 of this memoir that Frank has a copy of. She wanted nothing more than for me to be the workhorse, to earn money for her so she could get her 30% cut. When I tried to haggle with her on what percentage she'd get, she shut me down and threatened to kick me out on the street. You're nothing without me, she'd say. Nothing and nobody. I lost count of the sleepless nights spent crying because of her treatment of me. My mother, Vanessa Pines, is exploitive on her best day. She's manufactured a perfect exterior, her charitable actions unquestionable, but underneath it all, she's rotten to the core. Ooh, this is why Vanessa doesn't want this memoir coming out. It's very juicy, it sounds like. I think everyone who reads Brooke Pines books, and even those who don't, would be reading this memoir. And then Frank mentions that the sheriff has a copy of the document and he doesn't care about it. And Abby asks, what about Haley? Does she have a copy? And Frank says, I told her about it the night after Brooke passed. Haley was so upset about what happened. She said that reading about Brooke's life might make her feel better, so I sent it to her. I don't see why that matters. She barely mentioned Haley at all. And if you remember, there was another spot in the acknowledgements of the book that mentioned that the list of acknowledgements was super long, but that Haley was not mentioned in it at all. So, yeah, ouch. When you think you're someone's friend and they just, like, completely cut you out of the acknowledgements and everything, like, how hard would it be to shout out, like, oh, and to my friend Haley for always supporting me? Like, that's it. That's all you have to say. And she said nothing. Here, Brooke had thanked everyone except Haley. And now, in her memoir, Frank says, like, she barely even mentioned Haley. So she's mentioned, but, like,
barely at all. And the mom, it's them. It's them working together. Last fall was shady with his like 1-star reviews and like mean reviews and art and the subreddit and stuff like that. But he wasn't, I don't think he was murderous though. This is chapter 45. So let's keep reading. I'm locking in here at chapter 45. 5 more chapters left to go. I'm locking in that it was Haley and Vanessa. And the motive would be jealousy over Brooke's talent to be able to do what she did. But I think the mom was jealous of her daughter taking all of the limelight and her getting none of it. And Haley was jealous of her getting the book deals and everything and getting an agent, and Haley not being able to get anywhere with writing her book and getting a publisher or anything or an agent. And I think the mom, Vanessa's like, I can help you. Like she wanted, they called her the momager, the manager, momager. And I think the mom is saying like, Haley, I can be your manager. We can get rid of Brooke, which is a terrible thing to think of. Like that's her daughter, but she could have just like dropped her daughter and been like, I don't want to be your manager anymore. I'm going to help Haley because you're too difficult to work with or something. Like you don't go killing somebody. You just be like, Haley, you're better. We'll get you a better deal. But I mean, that'd be a pretty awful thing to do as the mom, but yeah, jealousy and just wanting the limelight for themselves. I guess that's my prediction. So let's see. I got like 5 more pages left. Next chapter. I'm ready for it. Let's jump in. Finished it. It was Haley. I haven't read past it yet, so I don't know any reason why, but it was just Haley. So Project Save Nessa is chapter 47, and then we have 50. So, like, we have 50 chapters. So let's find out the motive. Okay, so I forgot to mention in the last chapter here before we solve the puzzle, we read another little excerpt from Brooks's memoir. And she talks about how her mom stopped short of plagiarism because she understood that would be a career-ending move. But stealing ideas from other people was fair game. After finishing The Wind Wept, which is the book that she was doing the signing for, I experienced writer's block for the first time.
It was then that Mother informed me in no uncertain terms that failing to write another bestseller would mean the end of my royalties. She would keep everything from me. At the time, I decided to do the only logical thing. Steal an idea. I had access to a friend's computer where I found a perfect idea for a contemporary romance. So then after that, Abby runs to the deputy, Haro, who's like, would be the love interest in a more fleshed out story, and says that she believes Haley is the one who murdered Brooke, and that they have to hurry because Haley wants revenge because Nessa told Brooke to steal her ideas. So now she thinks Nessa is in danger and is going to die next. So they have to get to Nessa's mansion before Haley strikes again. So you read a chapter, and then at the top of the crossword puzzle, there's like a little blurb. And this says, to Haley, it was bad enough that she was overworked and underappreciated, but the theft of her idea was the last straw. So at one point you learn at the beginning of the book that Brooke's phone is broken and she has to have access to her email all the time. And she asks Haley to get it fixed, get her email up and running. And she says, when her phone broke, she relied on me to get her email working again. That was when I saw it, the contract with my idea. So it wasn't so much jealousy as it was her being mad that her idea was stolen. It was a signed contract and everything like that. It was her work, but obviously Brooke stole it from her. So a little bit more, I mean, there's never a reason for murder 99.9% of the time, but a little bit more than just I'm jealous of my friend who's had all the success and not me. So I got 2 more chapters. Let's finish this out. I forgot that I mentioned this, but Reggie, who had been right to be suspicious of Haley, lay atop the checkout counter loafing. I told you the cat knew. The cat knew all along. That was it. We didn't need any other clues except for the fact that the cat did not like Haley. That's it. That's all we needed to know. See? I should have just narrowed it down to Haley because the cat never had any interactions with Nessa. Yeah, the day that the book signing was happening, the cat, he doesn't like strangers and stuff like that. So he was upstairs. He didn't even go into the bookstore, so he didn't have any interaction with Nessa, just Haley. See? Reggie had been right. Always trust your pets. They know the deal. So that's a wrap. I got it half right. I got it right, and then I got it wrong, and then I got it like half right there. But it was fun. As a wrap up, let's start with what I didn't like, what I did like, and would I do this again, would I recommend this, all that good stuff. I didn't like that you don't have, that's not true. It's good and bad that you don't have to do the crossword puzzles or the word search. It's good because it really slows you down a lot. This is a good book for somebody who really, really, really enjoys crossword puzzles and wants like a little story to go along with it. I feel like you really have to I'm going to keep calling it a crossword. It's a word search, not a crossword. But you have to really like and want to do a lot of word searches with a little bit of story for this. So I like that you don't have to do the word search because then you can just fly through the book, or it's going to take you, like this would take me a lot longer than 3 days to read. And it only took me 3 days because I was busy and I was pretty miserable yesterday. I was in bed like most of the day with a massive headache and just not feeling well and whatever. I could have read this all in one day, but I would not have been able to do that if I was sitting down and doing all the crosswords that really, word searches, that really, really slows you down. So it's good that you don't have to do them, but I think it would be a little bit more fun if you got clues along the way by doing the word search, and then like at the end, you take the third line from the bottom, that's it, and you only take those letters that aren't used up and you unscramble them. So maybe making smaller word search, not so big, and then any letters left over you could use to find the clues. Like I said before, learning about last fall's name, you could do that and the answer would be Frank. Or learning the screen name of the person and you would learn that it's last fall within the puzzle itself. And if you're having trouble because like last fall isn't like an actual word, it's a made up screen name. It's made up of 2 words, but you wouldn't necessarily put them in the order of last fall. Although fall last would be weird. But anyways, there is the answer key in the back. So you would have that anyways. So I think it'd be a little bit more engaging if the puzzles actually led to clues. The story is, of course, by design, very simple. And the clues really are written out for you. It could have been a little bit more not as obvious, I guess, but that's not what this book is meant to be. This isn't some crazy in-depth mystery that you're following for hundreds of pages. It's 100 pages, it's 50 chapters. So it's literally only 50 pages of reading and then 50 crossword puzzles. That's it. So it's a very short story. I think it was well done. I think for what it is and what you're going into it for, it's fine. I don't need a description of a bookstore or a description of a cafe to know what it looks like necessarily. Like, I can picture, unless it's some kind of crazy unique bookstore or cafe, you kind of have a generic general idea of what a bookstore or cafe looks like. At one point they say that she saw them grabbing sweets like cinnamon buns and croissants and stuff from behind the glass display. So you don't need a lot of description to picture it in your head, right? So like when she's in the bookstore, I can picture her at a bookstore, kind of just a general bookstore. When she runs to the bakery, I can picture just a general bakery, and it's fine. I could easily picture what was happening in my mind. It's not lush with descriptions or anything, but it's not meant to be either. I think this was fine. I don't necessarily think you need to go and like buy all of these books to do them unless you really love the crossword puzzles, the word search puzzles. Maybe there's a crossword version out there. I don't know. I would be bad at that one, I think. But that one could be fun as well, and a good way to find clues and stuff. I don't know how exactly it would work, but that's not my job. This was fun. I'm glad I did it. I probably won't do another one, but we'll see, because this was $21 Canadian. So it's the price of a book. Will I go back and finish the crosswords? Maybe, if I'm bored and I need something to do. So I was editing this video and realized that I do not have an outro. So the joys of working with just my phone for filming, and of course I have like 1,000 pictures of babies and dogs and cats and like 3 of my husband and I from the past 5 years. But just to wrap up this whole thing, this was a fun little book to do. And I talked about what I liked and didn't like. I didn't like the fact that the puzzles were meaningless, except for the very last one. But I did like that you didn't have to do the puzzles because it would really slow you down. I thought it was fun. I won't be doing another adult one, but I have seen a few kids Myrtle version things that I was thinking of doing with the family. So let me know if that is something you would like to see or not. Let me know if you've seen this kind of book before. I thought it was a fun concept and really fun if you like word search puzzles. Anyways, thank you for joining me on this murder mystery solve along journey, and I will see you in another video hopefully really soon. Bye.